Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the posting of the colors.
Present heart. Port heart. Post.
Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone. We're gathered here today to honor, remember, and celebrate 4 extraordinary individuals who shared a profound purpose. Flight nurse Sarah Clark, flight nurse Jamie Novick, pilot Keelan Clark, and pilot Ali Kasara. Why am I here? I'm Judge Kelly Calicote. I am a state of New Mexico magistrate judge for the 5th Judicial District Division, number 1 in Eddy County. About 40 plus years ago, I found my calling. Like each of us in emergency services does. We don't just see a job that's offered to be a first responder. Well, back in those days, we call them the want ads. There's no such thing anymore, I don't think. And you say to yourself, well, I need a job, so I guess I'll become a nurse, or I'll become a paramedic, or a firefighter, or a police officer. I do believe it's a true calling for all of those who truly serve. I started my volunteer firefighter career and went to college to get my EMT back whenever I was young. I'm not going to disclose any ages here. I have actually served 3 separate counties in southeast New Mexico as a firefighter. And then I found my calling as a police officer. The first 9 years of my career were spent with the Carlsbad Police Department, and then I spent a year in Lee County, and then transitioned to the Lincoln County for about 6 years, working undercover as a narcotics agent. In May of 2002, I left Lincoln County and returned to Carlsbad to join the Eddy County Sheriff's Department, where I also was serving as a volunteer firefighter with the Eddy County Fire Service. I retired after 28 and a half years of law enforcement service in June of 2015, and retired as a chief within the Eddy County Fire Service in 2017. It was in 2018 that I made the run for my current career. And I've been serving as a magistrate judge in Eddy County for over 8 years and just got elected to 4 more years. A job to which I take great pride in serving. Okay, that's enough of me. I was truly honored when my longtime friends and co-workers of Trans Aero Medevac came to me asking me if I would consider emceeing this service today. Once again, I say, I am truly honored. To the families, crew members, agencies, partners, and children joining us here today, there are really no words that can erase the depth of grief that's being felt. We all stand beside you as a community, bound by our shared admiration for the lives that you led. We come together from many different paths, holding diverse backgrounds, traditions, and beliefs. Yet, today, we are united. United by universal truths and the beauty of their character. The heavy weight of their absence and the enduring power of love and memory. What you witnessed right before I started talking was the opening of the White Line Ceremony. The White Line Ceremony before you stands what was an empty vessel. And members of the Honor Guard, family members, professional families here today, all stepped forward to place a carnation in that vase. The thin white line represents the unsung heroes of the emergency medical services, to include flight paramedics, flight nurses, and the pilots who risked their lives to bridge the gap between life and death. The petals of these carnations mirror the line as perfectly symbolizing the pure, unwavering courage required to answer the call of duty. A single flower is fragile, holding a beauty that lasts only a short season. But when these flowers are gathered together into a vessel by all of our public service families, they cease to be isolated, and they become unified and a monument of shared service, sacrifice, and eternal memory. As you see behind me, there is a table. It has 5 candles upon that table, one for each of the crew members of TA40. And one that is the bond between all 4. This is to honor their distinct lights. We share a reflection for each crew member as we light the flame in their memory. For Flight Nurse Sarah Clark. Sarah was a phenomenal caregiver whose compassion extended far beyond her shift. Recognized by her peers for her excellence in practice, her final legacy of helping others included the gift of life itself. She loved deeply and cared fiercely, and brought life to every patient that she touched. And we now light this candle for Sarah's beautiful and enduring spirit. For pilot Keelan Clark. Keelan was an exceptional aviator whose steady hands and sharp professionalism and leadership guided his crew safely through countless skies. He carried the heavy responsibility of flight with poise, earning the absolute trust of everyone that flew with him. We light this candle in honor of pilot Keelan Clark and his skill and dedication and Keelan's quiet strength. for Flight Nurse Jamie Novick. Jamie's life was defined by purpose, courage, and a deep call to serve. First as a veteran of the United States Air Force, then as an ER nurse, and finally in the skies. A devoted wife, mother, she faced the hard things in life with humility, joy, and exceptional strength. We light this candle for Jamie's legacy of love and bravery. And for pilot Ali Kalsara. Ali was a beacon of pure kindness and unshakable positivity, driven far, far beyond his years. He brought joy to the hangar and treated every person that he met with deep respect, and carried a bright smile everywhere he went. And now we light this candle for Ali's joyful heart and his passion for the skies. Every time an air ambulance and their crews steps into the aircraft, they answer the noble calling. They operate in the thin spaces of our world, bridging distances to deliver care, navigating the dark skies to bring hope, and standing between crisis and the hope that the patient will have a positive outcome. Together, Trans-Aero Medevac and Generation Jets has formed a single family. Sarah, Jamie, Keelan, and Ali were not just co-workers. They were a crew bound by trust, by skill, and by absolute dedication to others. That bond will forever remain unbroken. And we now light the fifth candle for forever bonding the crew of TA40. With these flames now burning to represent the collective warmth and light this crew brought to our world, we invite now representatives from their professional families to share their reflections. First, I invite Matt Gertz, the president of Trans-Aero Medevac. Matt.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Gertz, and I have the privilege of serving as president of Trans-Aero Medevac. We gather here today to honor four remarkable people and stand with the families, friends, co-workers, and communities whose lives have been forever changed by their loss. Before I say anything else, I would like to acknowledge the families. There is nothing I can say today that will ease the pain of your loss. No speech can answer the questions that remain or fill the empty place left behind by the people you love. But I hope you know that you are surrounded by people who care deeply about you, who will grieve with you, and who will stand beside you in the days, months, and years ahead. Sarah, Jamie, Keelan, and Ali chose careers centered on caring for people. They accepted long hours, missed holidays, nights away from home, and immense responsibility. Because helping others simply wasn't what they did, it was who they were. Sarah Clark was known for her quiet professionalism under pressure, her leadership, and her unwavering commitment to helping others. She showed up every day with her cowboy boots, aviator sunglasses, a hat, and a streak of color in her hair as vibrant as her personality. People described her as infectious. Her energy, confidence, and genuine care for others made an impact everywhere she went. Sarah was deeply dedicated to her patients and approached every mission with purpose. Whether comforting a patient during a difficult flight or supporting a coworker through a challenging day, she had a way of making people feel at ease. And if Sarah were here today, she would want each of you to know, you're doing great. Jamie Novak had a smile that could illuminate even the darkest of days. Her teammates described her as adventurous, fearless, and extraordinarily gifted at what she did. She was a level 1 trauma nurse who could walk into the middle of chaos and somehow bring calm to the storm. But what people talked about most wasn't just her skill, it was her heart. Jamie loved her people fiercely. She lifted others up with laughter, sarcasm, and a perfectly timed sense of humor. One coworker said that she had a kind of magic that can't be taught and cannot be replaced. Anyone fortunate enough to know her understands exactly what that means. Keelan Clark was described as sweet, quiet, and endlessly kind. He was a person that went with the flow, never seemed rattled, and always seemed to have a smile on his face. His friends remembered the big hugs he gave, the belly-aching laughs they shared, and the countless meals between missions. Keelan loved cooking and bringing together people around food. He had a gentle spirit that put people at ease and a kindness that made people feel welcome wherever he was. And then there was Ali Kausara. Ali and Keelan shared a close friendship that so many people remembered when speaking with us. He was quick-witted, intelligent, hilarious, and genuinely cared about the people around him. He was known for helping wherever he could and for bringing laughter to every crew that he worked with. One coworker laughed while telling the story of Ali standing at Jim Bob's in Las Cruces, mixing what felt like 10 different sauces together to make the perfect recipe before tackling 2 pounds of shredded chicken. Ali was authentic, unforgettable, and instantly loved by the people fortunate enough to know him. Different personalities, different backgrounds, but one shared purpose. Today we also recognize something that many people outside this profession may never fully understand. While these 4 individuals work for different organizations, they were part of the same community. It's a community connected not only by the work we do, but a shared commitment to serving others. In the days that followed the loss of TA40, that commitment was on full display. We saw it in the countless EMS agencies, fire departments, law enforcement, and fellow air medical crews who came together to support the crew and their families. We saw it in the hours-long procession from the Capitan Mountains to Albuquerque, where people lined the roadsides and overpasses. They stood with flags, handmade signs to honor 4 people they may never have met, but whose commitment to helping others they understood. We saw that same support during the memorial services that followed, and we see it again here today. It reminds us that while we may wear different uniforms or serve different communities, we are united by a common purpose. When one of us hurts, all of us feel it. And while we gather in sorrow, we also gather in gratitude. Gratitude that Sarah, Jamie, Keelan, and Ali chose to spend their lives caring for others. Gratitude for the compassion they showed, often when people needed it most. And gratitude that because of the lives they lived, this community is better than it would have been without them. Their absence is felt because their presence meant something. But while we cannot change what has happened, we can choose how we move forward. We move forward by remembering them. We move forward by caring for one another. We move forward by living the kind of lives they would have been proud to stand beside. And we move forward by continuing the mission to which they dedicated their lives, a mission of service, compassion, and helping others when they needed it most. To the families, thank you for sharing your loved ones with us. To our partners and friends, thank you for standing with us during this difficult time. And to the 4 crew members that we honor today, Sarah Clark, Jamie Novak, Keelan Clark, and Ali Kausara. Thank you for the compassion you showed. Thank you for the lives that you touched. You will be missed, and you will not be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Next, I invite up Monty Renfro from Generation Jets.
Good morning. I'm Monty Renfro, and I get the honor to serve as the president for Generation Jets. I know many of you. I see a lot of great faces here, and I'm so thankful for your time here today. First, to the families of Keelan, Ali, Sarah, and Jamie, thank you for allowing us to stand with you today in celebration of their service. We stand with heavy hearts as we remember these 4 extraordinary people whose lives ended far too soon while answering the call to help others. In aviation, we often talk about missions, procedures, checklists, and outcomes. We focus on the technical aspects of the job because that's what keeps us sharp, keeps people safe. But today, it's not about aircraft, equipment, or operations. Today is about honoring the lives of these 4 heroes. It's about 4 individuals who dedicated their lives to the service of others. Four people who understood that when the phone rang, someone somewhere was having the worst day of their life. And without hesitation, they answered. Air ambulance crews live a unique world. I lived that world for a very long time as a provider myself. They leave family dinners, miss holidays, work through long nights, and face uncertainty every time they launch. They do it not for recognition or applause, but because they believe that helping others matters. The public often sees only the aircraft overhead. What they don't see are the men and the women inside, professionals with remarkable skill that takes years to develop, but also people with families, friends, dreams, stories, and laughter. Today we remember those stories. We remember the conversations they had, the lives they had touched, the patients they comforted, and the countless moments of kindness that may never appear in any report or record. We remember their dedication, their courage, and their commitment to a mission larger than themselves. The tragedy that brought us here leaves questions that may never be fully answered and a loss that can never truly be replaced. The empty seats, the silence where voices once were, and the absence of people we expected to see tomorrow remind us just how precious life is. But while we mourn their loss, we should also celebrate the example that they leave behind. Their lives were defined by the way they left this world, not by the way they left this world, but by the way they lived. They lived with purpose. They lived to serve others. They lived knowing that what they did mattered. And because of their lives committed to service, countless people are alive today who otherwise might not be. Families had more birthdays, more anniversaries, and more time together because crews like these answered the call. That legacy, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be measured in flight hours or mission numbers. It lives on in the people they helped, the colleagues they inspired, and the loved ones who carry their memory forward. To the family and friends gathered here today, no words can ease the pain of this loss. However, please know that your loved ones were loved, respected, admired, and deeply valued. Their impact reached far beyond the cockpit and the cabin, and they made a difference, and they will not be forgotten. As we leave here today, may we honor Keelan, Ali, Jamie, and Sarah, not only with our grief, but with our gratitude. Gratitude for their service, gratitude for their sacrifice, and gratitude for the privilege of having known them. Though their final mission ended in tragedy, the spirit with which they served continues to guide all who follow in their path. May we remember them with love, and may we remember them with pride, and may we never forget those we honor today. Thank you, and be blessed in all things.
While they were heroes in uniform, they were also beloved children, partners, parents, and siblings. And now we're going to open this space to hear from their families who loved them most. As a representative from each of the family will now step forward to share their reflections. First, we invite up Jamal Kassara, Ali's brother.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate the life of my brother, Ali, and the other amazing crew, Sarah, Jamie, and Keelan. Ali, he was an incredible brother, uncle, and friend. He had a way of making everyone around him feel valued and loved. Family was everything. He cared deeply for his friends and for his community. Wherever he went, he brought kindness, laughter, and he had a genuine desire to connect with people. One of Ali's greatest passions was flying. Becoming a pilot was more than a career goal. It was part of who he was. He loved being in the sky, chasing his dreams, and embracing the freedom and adventure that came with it. He always talked about flying. You could always see the excitement in his eyes. I was lucky to fly with him many times in that little Cessna Cardinal. We'd go have lunch, we'd go have breakfast. We'd go visit that cool little spot he just wanted to check out. They were just excuses, he just wanted to fly. We had a big age difference. There's 20 years between me and Ali. But we shared a unique bond. I'm sorry. I spent a lot of time taking him places when he was younger, watching him grow into that remarkable man he became. one of the memories I will cherish most is a recent work trip I took Ali on. He would always jump at any opportunity to go on a trip with me. We had a chance to spend some really good one-on-one time just talking about life and work and family and, our dreams of the future. And those are conversations and memories I will carry with me forever. While Ali's life was far too short, he truly lived it to the fullest. He pursued his passions, he loved fearlessly, and he made a lasting impact on so many people in such a short time. Though our hearts are broken, we can take comfort in knowing that he lived a life filled with purpose, filled with love and adventure. I like to think that Ali is exactly where he belongs, flying high above the clouds, at peace, watching over all of us. Ali, we love you. We miss you. And we will fly soon together. Thank you.
We know it's hard to talk, but thank you, Jamal. Next, I'd like to call up Nurse Jamie Novick's husband, Ryan Novick. Would you please come forward?
Thank you all for being here today to honor the 4 beautiful lives we so tragically lost. Standing here isn't any easier the second time around. But again, Jamie, we're here. Just tell me to stop overthinking it. Stay strong, take a deep breath, just speak from the heart. Jamie was my wife, my best friend. The love of my life and the incredible mother of her 2 beautiful children. She made every day brighter simply by being herself. Jamie had a rare gift of making people feel seen, heard, and valued. Whether you were a family, a friend, a patient, or someone she had just met. She genuinely cared about you. She lived with compassion, kindness, and an adventurous spirit that never faded. Many of you knew Jamie through nursing and through flight. While I knew the wife and mother she was at home, you had the privilege of seeing her live out the calling she worked so hard to achieve. Jamie loved being a nurse, not because of the recognition or titles, but because it gave her the opportunity to care for people during some of the hardest moments of their lives. She challenged who she was, constantly learned, and always wanted to become a better version of herself, for her patients, her coworkers, and for her family. When she became a flight nurse, she found exactly where she belonged. She loved the medicine, the challenge, the teamwork, and the opportunity to make a difference when it mattered most. To everyone who had the opportunity to work beside her, thank you. She spoke so highly of this team. She admired your professionalism, your skill, and the friendships she built here. She truly felt like she had found her people. I also want to thank each and every one of you for the work you continue to do every day. It takes extraordinary people to answer these calls, to carry the weight that comes with this profession, and to keep showing up for complete strangers. Jamie respected that deeply, and so do I. Although her life was far too short, the impact she made will last far beyond her years. Every patient she cared for, every coworker she encouraged, every friend she made, and every life she touched carries a piece of who she was. Jamie, thank you for every adventure, every laugh, every dream we chased together, and for loving our family so completely. Thank you for making me a better man and for showing all of us what a life of compassion, courage, and service truly looks like. I'll carry you with me for the rest of my days until we meet again. I love you.
Thank you, Ryan. Next up, we invite Matt Clark. He's the Otero County Emergency Services Director and the father of Nurse Sarah Clark.
I want to start out by thanking everyone for coming to support our family and the rest of the families of TA40 in this, our time of grief. The Facebook comments that we have been reading, the cards, the calls, texts, and visits have meant so much to us. As a family of first responders, we understand more than most. Knowing doesn't make it easier. It gives us a little more understanding of the risks and possible outcomes. Each of us has started volunteering as firefighters or EMS, following in my grandpa's and dad's footsteps and mine. Our son, who is a firefighter paramedic in Hobbs, now a paramedic in Great Falls, Montana. Our daughter, prior EMT turned nurse, fulfilled her dream of becoming a flight nurse. Our son, who started volunteering as a firefighter first responder, who crossed over to the other side and was an Otero County deputy and now a U.S. Border Patrol agent. Our daughter that took the EMT class twice, but decided that was not what she wanted to do. She decided to wait to figure it out. She married an airman stationed at Holloman, now stationed in Alaska. To my wife, who after the kids grew up, decided she didn't want to be left home anymore and became an EMT. In 2020, she was named EMT of the Year for the state of New Mexico. There were times that the pager would go off and at least two of us would meet at the station. Sometimes it was all of us. And we would go and try and become the calm in someone's chaos. I'm not sure if patients liked it because having Sarah in the back of the ambulance with her mom did confuse them at times as they looked so much alike. I say this to tell you, those are the memories we hold on to, the fun ones. Cherish them because we do not know when they will end. When Jill and I went to bed on the 13th, never did we expect to get a phone call asking if Sarah was working tonight. While we knew we could get that call, you never expect it to happen. But that is what happened. Around 2:30 in the morning, I got the phone call asking if Sarah was working because a medevac plane from Roswell to Ruidoso was missing. At that moment, I knew this was not ending well. I did a quick calculation to determine the UTC time, and I rolled flight radar back to around 11:30 p.m. and watched for a plane to take off from Roswell, hoping that I wouldn't see one. Unfortunately, I found that plane. I looked at the flight and where it was showing and where it went off radar. While I'm not 100% familiar with that area, I am familiar with the mountain terrains in the area. And I knew right then, if Sarah's on that plane, she was no longer with us. I made a couple of phone calls, and it was confirmed Sarah was on that plane, and where it went down was rough terrain. I flipped that switch, went from dad mode to rescue team mode. I spoke with the responders and asked that the rescue team take their time and that no one take any unnecessary risks. As a dad, the last thing I want is someone to get hurt trying to rescue the crew. The next hours were a blur as we waited to hear the news. Our family and closest friends came and sat with us, our new friends in the Border Patrol and our retired pastor from church. We sat in our living room, crying, laughing, praying, wondering if this was truly happening. We were never alone, even when our phones would ring and we would step out. Someone was near, watching us, make sure that we're okay or as good as we could be. We finally got the call that no one ever wants, the official phone call. We regret to inform you that we can confirm there were no survivors. Now what? It is official. You have a void in your life that cannot be replaced. More people reach out to you and pass their condolences. I'll remember some of these, as there are just no words to say at these moments. We are not supposed to outlive our children. What I'll remember the most is the stories of Sarah. I knew that she touched a lot of people, but that extent of the reach was more than I could imagine. While Sarah started her nursing career at Gerald Champion, we didn't get to hear those stories because she did live on her own. Later, she became a traveler and went to the end of the earth, or where the aliens are here in Roswell. She enjoyed it so much, she stayed there and bought a house for her dog, Jupiter. Later, she added Xena because Jupiter is getting older and wanted to have someone ready to fill that void. These dogs were the world to her. She grew in her skills as an ER nurse, charge nurse, preceptor, and finally made her dream come true, flight nurse. Her grandpa flew in the Air Force and would always ask her, "How many flight hours do you have?" Every time she would answer, "I don't know, doesn't matter." We found out in the very short time she was flying, she flew 401 missions as a flight nurse. Really didn't matter to her. It was her calling. We would get to hear the highlights of her career and the compassion she had for the patients. She would fight for them, trying to figure out why they didn't look right, why they weren't recovering the way they should be. She had that ability to just know that a patient wasn't matching the vitals and to treat the patient, not the vitals or the machine. She not only took care of the patients, but the whole family if they all showed up in her emergency department. She cared for her team, always there to lend a hand or to become the calm in the chaos. She had the ability to look at the big picture and focus on that. She would explain to the team the bigger picture. I heard from responders and nurses, "Oh good, Sarah is working." She would just smile at them and they knew they would get through it. She'd walk into a room, put her hand on someone and tell them, "You got this, you're doing great." After that, they knew we were going to make it. She never wanted recognition. "I'm just doing my job." I know this because she was nominated for Excellence in Nursing Rural Practice 2023. Her director didn't want to tell her because she knew Sarah didn't want it. We didn't know she had been nominated for the award, and neither did she, as she never looked at the email about the nominees. Jill received a text telling her, "You must be so proud of your daughter." Truth is, we are proud of all of our kids. Jill had to ask why and was told because the award she won. A call was made to Sarah to ask about the award and why didn't you go? We got the answer. That's what that email was. I thought it was about my nursing license. Didn't matter. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I am flying, because she was on shift that day. There are so many great memories that we have heard about her, and that is what we try to focus on as we move forward, trying to build our new normal. Don't take a day for granted, as it is not promised. Cherish the moments you have. Take that selfie and share it with your family and friends. Even if you don't like your picture taken, as Sarah really didn't either, because it's a memory for you, your family, and your friends. To the Eastern family and TransAero family, be the calm amongst the chaos and fight for your patients. Do not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Sarah did. Don't look at it as a task you don't want to do, but as an opportunity to expand your knowledge and even pass it on to the next generations of nurses or EMS professionals. Sarah taught you more than you know. Pick up where she left off. Sarah wouldn't have it any other way. She died with her boots on, doing what she loved. Pass on the calm among the chaos. You got this. You're doing great.
Thank you, Matt. And next, we invite up Keelan Clark's mother, Kim Byler.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank everyone here for attending and for taking your time to honor these 4 courageous, beloved individuals. I hope that by giving you a glimpse into who Keelan was today, you can see him as we saw him, and hopefully gain at least an idea of the great man that we all knew. Keelan loved to fly. It brought him an immense amount of joy. But Keelan was more than a pilot. He was a husband, brother, son, grandson, and dog dad. Not only did we, his family, love him, but we never once had to question if he loved us. He was always there when you needed him, even if all he could offer was a hug or encouragement. He told us he loved us. He showed us he loved us. Keelan could command a room when he walked in, not through raised voice or really anything he did. Keelan simply had a unique charm that drew people to him, as many of you know. When Keelan saw you, no matter if it had been days or months, you could see his eyes light up before he'd flash that crooked smile of his. He genuinely cared about people around him, whether they were family, friends, co-workers, or strangers. His care and concern for others eventually led him to one day put himself directly in danger right here in Roswell to help a stranger. This city was not his home. He knew neither the woman he gave emergency assistance to, nor the attacker, which he stood his ground against. He saw someone in need of help, and without hesitation, defended her when the assailant returned, with no regard to his own safety. He could have hid behind a locked door and called for help. He could have ran when that person returned to do more harm. But he did not, because Keelan is the kind of human we should all aspire to be. I wish I could tell you all the things about him that we loved. His love for food, always cooking or finding a cool new place to eat. His laughter during a game night when he got caught running shenanigans. His passion for the outdoors, running, hiking, training for the Ironman. Trying to find the right words feels impossible. Joyful, loving, kind, gracious, respectful, generous, selfless. There will never be enough words. And yet there will always be enough of us to remember Keelan. and to speak of who he was, so that he will never be forgotten. We know that because in his almost 31 years on this earth, he touched countless lives, more than many of us can hope to touch in 80 years. Enough so that people we will never even meet will remember him by his kindness and joy. Enough that his legacy will carry on for lifetimes. To close, I'd like to share a story. A few months ago, Keelan was hiking in Arizona. At one point on his hike, this trail, there was a notebook that he came across. In this notebook, hikers were encouraged to write their name and leave a message for someone else to find. Keelan enjoyed reading the old messages and decided to leave one of his own. It read, "This was such a beautiful trail with an incredible view at the top. This was a cool surprise to find this notebook with everyone's fun notes. Every day is a day closer to the sunset of life. Life is short. Enjoy it. Keelan Clark."
Thank you all for sharing the in-depth reality of what this crew meant to your organizations, your families. We are now going to transition to the final watch protocol. All units stand by for the final call for the crew of TA40.
Roosevelt, all units, 0B183 for last call. Roosevelt, all units, stand by for last call. Roosevelt, all units, stand by for last call. Comms TA40. TA40. Comms to TA40. Comms no response from TA40. Comms to pilot Lynn Clark. No response from pilot Clark. Comms to pilot Ali Kalsa. No response from pilot Kafara. Comes to flight nurse Sarah Clark. No response from flight nurse Clark. Comms to flight nurse Jamie Novick. No response from flight nurse Novick. A hero never truly dies until the last time their name is spoken. Continue to honor them, and they will live on forever. The TA40 crew of Transaero Medevac and Generations Jets has completed their mission. Sarah, Jamie, Keelan, and Ali have cleared the skies. They are now on eternal watch. End of watch, May 14th, 2026. Rest easy, crew. We have the watch from here. Roswell, all units clear at 12:11 hours.
The emergency bell is an ancient symbol. It marks the start of a shift, the call for a rescue, and the safe return of a crew to their home quarters. Today, these tolls will signify that our brothers and sisters have completed their task. Their duties are well done. We strike these bells to signal their final return to peace. Will everyone please rise? For their devotion to duty. For their courage and honor. May their spirits find rest, and may their memories remain eternal. You may be seated. The thin white line flag is a symbol of profound gratitude. The black background honors those who have given everything, while the white stripe represents the pure, unwavering courage of emergency medical professionals who step forward to preserve life. To the families of Sarah, Jamie, Keelan, and Ali. The Honor Guard will now present these colors to you. May they serve as an enduring reminder that your loved ones' courage, sacrifice, and spirits will never be forgotten by the communities that they have protected.
All the uniformed personnel, attend. Huh!
Please join me now in a moment of silence in this quiet space as we stand with these families, holding their colors. Let us keep their memory alive in our hearts and forever in our memories. Please remain standing. I now invite forward Ron Metter, Middle Management Team for TransAero Medevac forward. This will be the retirement of call sign TA40.
Good afternoon and thank you. My name is Ron Metter. I'm the regional manager of TransAero Medevac, and I have the esteemed privilege of managing an extraordinary group of clinical professionals and working alongside a group of extraordinary aviation professionals. TransAero Medevac 40, call sign TA40, entered into service on June 1st, 2021, and flew its final mission on May 14th, 2026. During that time, TA40 completed 1,841 missions, each one representing a call answered, a patient served, and a crew dedicated to the highest ideals of air medical care. This call sign will no longer be assigned, dispatched, or answered. It will remain forever reserved in honor of Sarah, Jamie, Keelan, and Ali, and in remembrance of the final crew who proudly answered its call. TA40 shall stand as a lasting tribute to their service, their sacrifice, and the countless lives that they touched. In the emergency medical services and aviation communities A call sign is more than simply an identifier. It represents those willing to answer the call at all hours, in all conditions, and the collective heartbeat of a dedicated crew. The call sign TA40 will forever belong to Sarah, Jamie, Keelan, and Ali. They carried it with pride, honor, compassion, and a dedication to the selfless service of others. TA40 will never complete another mission, be assigned to another aircraft, or to another crew. It shall remain permanently reserved, forever belonging exclusively to the heroes we serve here today. Henceforth, the call sign TA40 is officially retired from service. We thank them for their dedicated service, their bravery, and their ultimate sacrifice. Your mission is complete, and your watch has ended. Gone, but never to be forgotten. Rest in peace. We'll take it from here.
I now invite Charlie Nolan, the Trans Aero Medevac Program Director, forward.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I do want to start. This event was put on by the crews. None of us had an input from the leadership team. We didn't know what we were into. This is the dedication they have to each other, and I want to thank all of you for all the hard work and the tireless hours you've spent doing this. In our industry, we often say our mission is simple. When someone's having the worst day of their life, we show up. That mission requires courage, compassion, professionalism, and an unwavering commitment to something greater than ourselves. The 4 crew members we honor today embodied those qualities every single day. Their lives were defined not by how they left us, but by how they lived. They answered the call when others needed help. They brought comfort to patients, the families, and their colleagues during moments of fear and uncertainty. They represented the very best of our profession and of our company. As a program director, I have the privilege of working alongside remarkable people. These 4 were among them. They were more than crew members. They were teammates, mentors, friends, and family. As their absence will be felt on every shift, in every base, and every time we prepare for a mission. As the last several weeks have tested all of us in ways we've never imagined, they've challenged our hearts, our faith, our resolve, yet they have also reminded us of the strength of this family. In the way that we stand together, support each other, and carry each other through unimaginable times. While today we're filled with grief, I hope we also remember what they gave us. Their dedication reminds us of why this work matters. Their example challenges us to care for one another, never to take a single day for granted, and to continue serving the communities with the same compassion and excellence that they demonstrated every day. We cannot change what happened, but we can choose how we honor them. We honor them by caring for each other. We honor them by supporting their families and by striving every day to be the kind professionals and the kind of people that they would be proud to stand by. To the families, thank you for sharing your loved ones with us. We know the sacrifices that come with this profession are shared by those that wait at home. Your loved ones touched countless lives in our communities. They made our organizations better organizations. They made our communities stronger and our lives richer. We will never forget your family members. Though their final mission has ended, their legacies never will. As we leave here today, let us carry their memory in our hearts, their example in our work, and their spirit in every mission that we fly, every patient that we care for, every life we have the privilege to serve. And may we always be worthy of the legacy that they have left for us. Thank you.
Though they have flown beyond our sight, the impact of their lives remains firmly rooted in our hearts. Their dedication saved lives. Their kindness comforted families, and their examples will continue to inspire us. At this time, to offer the final tribute to our crew and the element that they loved most, we'll be gathering outside for a special aircraft flyover. And immediately following the completion of the flyover, food and drink will be provided under the tents nearby so we can continue to support the families and share our memories together. Thank you all for bringing your love and presence here today. May our crew fly high forever. We now ask everyone to proceed through the rear doors outside as soon as the uniformed personnel exit.
Thank